Can I get a little more explicit here?
Yeah, of course.
You're like, yes,
I love that.
you never ask it. You make me ask all the questions. All right. So, what about this whole? And it's so funny because when I ask people about it, they're like, half the people don't even know what it is. Pegging.
Oh, yeah. Pegging. I mean, I feel like that's another good example of like where things start to kind of cross that territory on the Kinsey
They
scale.
sure do.
There's a
Should we
biological.
explain? Should we explain what pegging is?
Yeah, so pegging is when a woman puts on a strap on or uses a dildo to have anal sex
With
with
a
a man
man.
who identifies as primarily like heterosexual or bisexual. Um, and I think that there's an anatomical reason for this as well.
Because
Men's
the prostate and
yeah, men's
that's
G
organ.
spot are can be found inside the anus. So that could be one element of it. However, there could be stimulation of that without the pegging process, which is also why sometimes men like they're like there's some men like it when women use their fingers to stimulate the prostate.
I think you're
Um,
blessed.
yeah, yeah. It's because I'm so white. You could see when I start blushing. And so, there's that part. I think the whole pegging process in and of itself, though, it's kind of more about, it seems to me more like the act of it,
Right.
right?
So what does that actually mean? Okay, Ellie, you're right. She is yippee.
Yeah.
Get over here.
I think that there are. I think that again, going to this idea of the Kinsey scale, I would say that man, if he wants pegging, probably is not purely heterosexual on the Kinsey scale. Doesn't mean he's gay, but it could just mean that there's an element of him that finds that act sexually attractive. Now, does that mean that he would want a man to do it? No, not necessarily. But I think it would be curious. I would be curious if I was a woman and I was in this situation. I would be curious to know, like, what do you find attractive about it? It could be just this idea of submission, like being in a more submissive role. It could be like just like the idea of receiving for some reason. Like, I think that there could be a lot of psychological
And
elements
receive
to
other things.
it. Yeah, yeah.